1. Hook, ever wondered how a small mistake in AWS can cost a startup thousands? Stick around, because I'm about to share the most expensive AWS mistake I've ever seen, and how you can avoid it. 2. The real problem in the fast-paced world of cloud computing: it's easy to get lost in the complexity. One tiny misconfiguration can snowball into a financial nightmare. I've seen startups go from thriving to struggling, all due to overlooked details. 3. The simple explanation. Let's break this down. AWS operates on a pay-as-you-go model. That means every service you use, every resource you spin up, comes with a cost. If you don't monitor your usage, those costs can spiral out of control. Misconfigurations can lead to unnecessary charges and wasted resources. To keep your AWS bill in check, you need to understand what you're using, how much it costs, and what happens when things go wrong. 4. Real-world example. Let me share a story from a startup I worked with last year. They were developing a mobile app and decided to use AWS for their backend. They set up an EC2 instance to handle requests. Initially, everything seemed fine. They were running a T2.micro instance, which is free tier eligible. However, they didn't realize they were also using an elastic IP address. When the app went live, their traffic surged. They quickly spun up more instances, but they neglected to detach the elastic IP from the original instance. Even when they terminated that instance, the elastic IP still accrued charges. In just 1 month, the AWS bill skyrocketed to over $3,000. They initially budgeted for $100. This oversight cost them crucial runway time and led to a panicked scramble for funds. They learned the hard way that monitoring and properly configuring resources is vital. 5. What to do instead. Here's a simple framework to avoid costly mistakes like this one. 1. Set budget alerts. Go to the AWS billing dashboard. Set up a budget alert for your expected spend, say $200. Choose to receive alerts when you hit 80% of your budget. 2. Regular cost reviews. Schedule bi-weekly reviews of your AWS usage. Check the Cost Explorer to identify unexpected spikes. Understand which services are consuming the most resources. 3. Use automation tools. Implement AWS CloudFormation or Terraform to manage your stacks. Automate the creation and deletion of resources based on demand. For example, configure auto-scaling for EC2 instances to optimize costs. 4. Detach unused resources. Immediately detach or delete any elastic IPs not in use. Go through your EC2 dashboard regularly to ensure instances are actively serving requests. 5. Leverage AWS free tier. Start with services that fall under the AWS free tier. For example, use Lambda functions for tasks that can run serverless, minimizing cost. 6. Common mistakes. Now, let's dive into 5 common AWS mistakes and how to avoid them. 1. Ignoring the free tier. Many new users forget about the free tier benefits. Make sure to utilize services like S3, Lambda, and DynamoDB that have free usage limits for the first year. 2. Not monitoring usage. Failing to monitor your usage leads to surprises in billing. Use AWS Budgets and Cost Explorer for visibility. 3. Over-provisioning resources. Start with the smallest instance sizes. Scale up only when necessary. For example, begin with T3.micro instances and adjust based on performance metrics. 4. Neglecting security groups. Incorrectly configured security groups can expose resources. Regularly audit your security settings to ensure only necessary ports are open. 5. Not using tags. Tags help track resources and costs effectively. Implement a tagging strategy to categorize resources by environment or project, making it easier to identify spending. 7. Quick checklist. Here's a quick checklist to keep your AWS costs in check. Set budget alerts in the AWS billing dashboard. Review your AWS costs bi-weekly. Automate resource management with CloudFormation or Terraform. Detach or delete unused elastic IPs and instances. Utilize the AWS free tier effectively. Audit security groups regularly. Implement a tagging strategy for better cost tracking. 8. Summary plus CTA and summary. The most expensive AWS mistake I've encountered stemmed from misconfigured resources and lack of monitoring. By understanding your costs, setting up alerts, and automating your resource management, you can prevent financial pitfalls. If you found this video helpful, please comment below with your AWS questions. Don't forget to subscribe for more real-world tech insights. See you in the next video. Bonus practical tip: if you're unsure what to pick, start with the simplest option that ships today. Then measure for 7 days, latency, errors, deploy time, and cost. Only upgrade when metrics force the decision, not fear.